Every October, our community comes together for something more than a luncheon. We come together for hope, for healing, for every mother, sister, daughter, and friend who has faced breast cancer. And for those we pray will never have to. Because of the Pink Elephant Fund, we've been able to make women's care more advanced and more compassionate. From mammogram scholarships for women without insurance, to cozy robes and warmers that bring comfort during moments of anxiety, to technology that saves lives. Athens-Limestone Hospital now provides advanced breast ultrasound technology, giving women in our community access to the very best in early detection. We come together each year for our mothers and grandmothers, for our sisters and friends, for those we've lost, and those who fight on.
I'm self-employed, divorced, and unable to afford health insurance. Thanks to the foundation and the Pink Elephant Fund, I don't have to worry about how I'll pay for my annual mammogram. This support has truly lifted a weight off my shoulders, and I can't express enough how grateful I am to everyone who makes this possible.
I'm a fighter, I'm a warrior. I encourage all of you, do not give up.
He can heal cancer.
It's not who I am, but it's part of my story.
I had cancer. Cancer didn't have me. Remember, you are not defined by what you are going through.
Through my fight, I had a lot of support, especially my girls, and that's one of the reasons that I fight, and I fight for us to continue providing mammograms for others, is so one day my girls don't have to have this fight.
The Pink Elephant Fund has transformed women's health in Limestone County, funding life-saving technology, scholarships, and care that reaches far beyond hospital walls. Because when a community stands together, lives are changed, and hope grows stronger for every life touched, for every survivor celebrated, for every moment made possible through your support. Thank you.
This is our first luncheon since 2019, and we are absolutely ecstatic to be here with you today, surrounded by love, hope, and community spirit in support of the Pink Elephant Fund. First off, we would like to thank our presenting sponsor, Mazda Toyota. Thank you so much for your support and for making this event possible. We would also like to thank our passionate Pink sponsors, Radiology of Huntsville, Robbins and Morton, D.R. Horton, America's Builder, and Athens Florist. The Pretty and Pink sponsors, Trustmark Bank, Hospice of Limestone County, Clairview Cancer Institute, Claire Tenney Jones, Attorney at Law, Morrell Engineering, Bank Independent, and Lister Hill Credit Union. And for our Tickled Pink sponsors, Family Security Credit Union, First Metro Bank, Bryant Bank, Athens State University, Grace and Carter and Son Contracting, Alabama Cleaning Service, Limestone Nursing and Rehabilitation Center, Osborne's Jewelers, Jimmy Smith Automotive Group, and Redstone Federal Credit Union, And thank you so much to our event photography sponsor, Flyleaf Photography. This event would not be possible without your support, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. A big thank you to CNA Catering for carving us all up today with the pasta and for a wonderful meal, and to Cookie Fix in Madison for providing the delicious cookies on your table. Don't forget to leave without one, or you can enjoy it while you're here. On your tables, you'll find envelopes for additional donations if you feel led to give to the Pink Elephant Fund. It goes directly to support local women's health services here in Limestone County. The beautiful floral centerpieces are available to take home with a $50 donation. So someone at your table, you can make that donation. You can scan the QR code. But Matthew Jimmar, my dear friend, crafted these and his team, and I just can't thank him enough for sharing his talents and for always supporting the community. So thank you, Matthew. Thank you as well to our vendors who are generously donating 15% of their sales today to the Pink Elephant Fund. They've made it so much fun and offered a shopping experience. And thank you to Trinities of Athens for the vouchers on your tables. Don't forget to leave with those, and you can redeem your Sweet Grace sachet in the store. And we will also do a door prize drawing, which was donated by Trinities of Athens. So thank you so much. We will draw at the end. And a special thank you to Hobbs Jewelers for donating the gorgeous pink topaz 14-karat gold necklace for our raffle, and for the beautiful handcrafted quilts made by Debbie Yiff and Rita Moore. We will be doing the drawing for those raffles after the event concludes. Finally, we'd love to recognize Grayson Carter and Son Contracting for their breast cancer awareness t-shirt fundraiser, which raised $2,000.48 for the Pink Elephant Fund. We appreciate them doing this so much. So thank you so much to Grayson Carter and Son. We are so grateful to each of you for helping us make a difference and to continue investing back in the best equipment possible here in Limestone County to provide earliest detection possible. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our hospital president, Mrs. Tracy Collins. Let's please welcome Tracy to the stage.
Thank you, Caroline, and thank you all for coming. Welcome back to the Pink Elephant. We had our last Pink Elephant event in 2019. In 2020, we had to adjust our sales and go a different route, but we're so glad to have this event back and all the things that it does for mammography at Athens Hospital. And on behalf of the hospital, I would like to welcome everyone today. A special thank you to Mazda Toyota for presenting this event for our community and for our hospital. All the other sponsors, as well as our donors. I do want to recognize some special guests today. From Huntsville Hospital Health System, my friends Mary Lynn Wright from Madison Hospital, president there, and Ashley Poole, president at Highlands. So give them a warm welcome, please. These ladies are truly my support system, and I don't know how I would do what I do without both of you, so thank you very much for being here. Another special guest I want to recognize is my mom. I would not be where I am today without my mom, and I'm so thankful that she's able to join us today. Thank you, Mom. I love you. Events like this are only possible because of Caroline and her team. We have the most amazing foundation team, and I want to thank Caroline, Kristen, Amanda, and all the people in our foundation. If you are on our foundation team, if you would just raise your hand or stand. Thank you so much. I would also like to recognize our imaging department. If you're a member of our imaging staff or our team at the hospital, would you please stand? Leslie and Luther lead our team at 3 different campuses, and so we're grateful for all you do for the hospital and for advancing technology and imaging in our community. A special thanks to Dr. Fry. He's been with the hospital probably close to 30 years now, if not more. He's probably been there about as long as I have. Thank you, Dr. Fry, for all you do for our hospital. I would also like to recognize our Athens-Limestone Hospital employees. If you're an employee at the hospital, you please stand. Our community is blessed with the best. We truly have an outstanding team at the hospital. The past 2 weeks, we've welcomed the Joint Commission, our accreditation agency, and we had 2 of the best surveys that we have ever had in the history of the hospital. Only 12 findings, which the average finding in the country is 35 findings, and we had 12. And of those, we had 0 clinical findings. That's remarkable and extremely rare, according to the surveyor. So thank you for my team, for the support and the excellent care that you provide to our community, and for being the difference and truly living our mission. I would also like to recognize the Athens-Limestone Hospital Board and our Foundation Board. If we have any board members or Foundation Board members, would you please stand? Both of our boards are made up of volunteers, and it takes time and commitment away from your families and your other duties, and it's something that I do not take for granted. So thank you very much for your support to the hospital. I have the honor of introducing our keynote speaker today. Our keynote today is Ms. Pammie Jimmar. Pammie is a dynamic community leader with more than 25 years in experience in business, development, leadership, and organizational growth. Known for her energy, compassion, and people-first approach, she is dedicated to helping communities and small businesses grow and thrive. Before leading the Athens-Limestone County Chamber of Commerce, Pammie served the Huntsville-Madison County Chamber and is a proud graduate of the U.S. Chambers Institute for Organization Management. Her greatest professional accomplishment is presently serving as the chair of the Board of Trustees of the U.S. Chambers Institute for Organization Management. Beyond her professional work, Pammie is deeply passionate about supporting cancer survivors, offering encouragement, empathy, and a listening ears to those facing life's toughest battles. Her purpose-driven leadership continues to inspire others to persevere, serve selflessly, and lead with heart. Pammie is also blessed with 2 wonderful sons, Casey, Dallas, and her mom, who are the light of her heart and the joy of her life. Please join me in welcoming Pammie to our stage.
Excuse me. So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. All right. So I am a mother. I am a daughter. I am a sister. I am an aunt. I am a friend. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pammie Jimmar, and I am a thriver. This afternoon, I'm going to take you on my journey through chaos and courage. In 2019, my entire world turned upside down. In the same season, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, going through a divorce, selling my home, and sending my baby boy, I wasn't going to cry, I'm off to college in Philadelphia. Everything that I had once felt stable, steady, and safe was suddenly gone. I wasn't supposed to be up here crying. Okay, here we go. My life was chaos. I remember sitting on the floor one night, surrounded by boxes, paper, and fear, wondering how in the world was I supposed to hold it all together when everything around me was falling apart. But I stand before you today, falling apart, not to talk about what broke me, but to tell you how I rose. Because I'm not just a survivor, I'm a thriver. I remember the day I got the phone call from the radiologist. The doctor said they needed me to come back and redo my test and to come as soon as possible. Of course, I said yes, but I didn't tell my family. Not yet. At that point, I had already gone through my second mammogram, and I just didn't want to worry anyone until I knew more. Well, long story short, after the mammogram, I got another call. This time, they said I needed a biopsy. And I remember that moment like it was yesterday. It was a Thursday. Oh, my heart sank. I asked the nurse, when is the earliest you can get me in? She said, we have a 3 o'clock slot. And without hesitation, I said, I'll take it today. Y'all supposed to laugh and make me happy up here. There was no way I was going to sit around with that kind of uncertainty hanging over me. I knew I had to tell someone, so I called my mother. I tried to sound calm as I told her what was happening. She immediately said, can I go with you? But I told her no. Not because I didn't need the support, but because I needed to process it in my own way. I needed to find peace before I could share my fear. So I walked into that appointment nervous, shaking, but not fearful. Because even though I was walking in alone, I knew I wasn't truly alone. I knew that the Lord was, I promise you it's encouraging. I promise you that the Lord was walking right beside me, holding my hand every step of the way. And you know what? I wasn't even as afraid of the diagnosis as I was the biopsy needle. You all know what I mean. If you know, you know. I've also been always terrified of needles. But that day, even that fear didn't win because my faith was stronger than my fear. I asked the nurse, can I hold your hand? She was such a kind-hearted woman. I can still see her face. I squeezed her hand so tight. I thought I might squeeze all the blood out of it. She talked me through the procedure. I cried and she cried. The next day, I got the call. The radiologist confirmed it. Yep, it was cancer. And then she asked me, thank you. Do you have an oncologist you like to use? And I thought to myself, how would I know? I'm the first one in my family to ever face this. The only person I knew well enough to ask was a dear friend, a breast cancer survivor herself. She recommended her oncologist, and that's who guided me through my journey. My mom, my Shiro, became my rock, my confidant, my prayer partner, and always my best friend. She never missed a single appointment or treatment. My friends, my family, my prayer circle, they all surrounded me. And somewhere along the way, I realized something. I was becoming their strength too. People would always ask, "How are you so joyful through all of this? How are you smiling through your storm?" And I'll tell them stories about my faith, about how I held onto the words of an old song we used to sing back in church. And it was, "Please be patient with me. God is not through with me yet." And I believe that. I believe God was still working on me, shaping me into something new. Those days weren't easy, but I learned something powerful. Real strength doesn't always look like smiling through pain. Sometimes it's just showing up, even when you just don't feel like it. Sometimes it's whispering thank you when your body aches. I started showing up into every treatment like a warrior stepping into battle, clothed with my armor of faith, grace, and mercy. I shined my bald head. I laughed when I could. I cried when I needed to. When treatment finally ended, I thought I'd feel free. But the truth is, healing doesn't begin the day chemo stops. If you know, you know. That's when the real work begins. For months, my whole life had been about surviving, getting through the next test, the next round of chemo, the next day. When it all slowed down, I was left staring at a stranger in the mirror who had undergone a bilateral mastectomy and flap surgery. My body was different. My heart was different. My life was different. I wasn't sure who I was anymore. There's a loneliness that comes after survival. When everyone else celebrates the end of your cancer journey, but inside you're still trying to find your own way back home. There came a moment when I realized my story wasn't meant to stay quiet. I had survived the unthinkable: cancer, heartbreak, loss, and change. Not just to move on, but to move others. My journey wasn't just about me. It was about every woman who's ever sat in a doctor's office and heard the words, "You have cancer." And through it all, I began to understand that healing is not about going back to who you were. It's about discovering who you are becoming. Every mother who had to stay strong when she felt like falling apart. Every person who's had to rebuild a life never planned. Faith became my anchor. I stopped asking, "Why me?" and started asking, "What now?" And that question changed everything. I realized my story wasn't meant to end in pain. It was meant to bring purpose. When I shared my story, I saw hope spark in other people's eyes. And every time someone said, "Guess what? That's my story too," I felt God whisper, "This is why you're still here." I began mentoring, volunteering, and advocating, especially for women diagnosed with cancer. And through it all, I discovered this truth. And when you share your truth, you don't just heal yourself, you give others permission to heal too. Today, I stand not as a victim of what happened to me, but as a vessel for what came through the strength, faith, and the power to inspire others. Today, I live in peace, not because everything is perfect, but because I finally learned how to find peace within myself. When I wake up each morning, I no longer ask, "Why did this happen to me?" How can I use this day? I ask, how do I use this day to shine a little brighter? The woman I become listens deeper, laughs louder. I see beauty in moments I used to overlook. A quiet prayer, the sound of my own laughter. I learned that thriving isn't about escaping pain. It's about transforming it into power. Cancer changed my body, but it also changed my spirit. It taught me how to live a fragile life and how fragile it is and how sacred it can be when you choose to live in intention. My scars are no longer something that I hide. They're proof I fought the battle and I won. I don't chase perfection anymore. I chase peace. I wake up thankful for every breath, every laugh, every smile. It's for transforming it into power. It's forgiving what tried to destroy me. It's looking in the mirror and saying, I'm proud of her. So, if you're in a storm right now, whatever the storm looks like, I want you to remember this. You're stronger than you think. You're braver than you know. And even when life falls apart, you can rise again. Because survival is about breathing, but thriving, that's about living. Looking back now, I realize that experience wasn't just about a medical scare. It was about my faith, my courage, and the power of gratitude. So many of us go through moments that shake us to our core, times when we have to just dig deep and trust that God is already working things out for you behind the scenes. That day, sitting in a doctor's office, I also learned that fear and faith can't live in the same place. You have to choose one, and I chose faith. And that choice changed everything. So today, again, I stand here reminded you that every challenge you face, no matter how scary, no matter how certain, or how painful, has a purpose. It grows us. It refines us. It teaches us to definitely lean into God, to appreciate life, and to never take a single day for granted. If my story can remind just one person to listen to their body, go get that checkup, that mammogram, or trust that God is still in control, then it was all worth it. Because sometimes the very thing, again, that shakes your world is the same thing that strengthens your spirit. Thank you, Athens-Limestone Hospital Foundation, for giving me the honor of sharing my journey. And sorry I was a big baby up here, but I tell you, every time I get up here, I say I'm gonna be a big girl, and it never fails because you relive it over and over. And sharing my journey with you all, please do one thing for me today. If you haven't scheduled your mammogram, please do so today. It can save your life like it saved mine. Remember, my name is Pammie Jimmar. I am a survivor. I am a believer, and I am a thriver. Thank you all.
Thank you, Pamela, for sharing your story with us. I'm Dr. Paul Fry, the medical director of radiology at Athens-Limestone. This is Leslie Wallace, who is our director of the department. I just want to thank you for being here. I've forgotten how much I missed this. It's been 6 years. It's been a while. It's one of my favorite parts of the year, favorite times of the year. I'm a radiologist, and my job is to diagnose things for other doctors and for patients. And this, in my mind, is the most important part of radiology. Just a little background. My mother got breast cancer. She was can't remember, 36 or 38. I was still in high school. She's now 89. She survived. Her mother, my grandmother, also had breast cancer. So it was one of the main reasons why I went into radiology, so I could hopefully help people like my mother. Look around, there's unfortunately way too many women who've had breast cancer. The statistics is 1 in 8 women in their lifetime will develop breast cancer. And it's not fair because it's not really anything you can do about it. Like smoking can cause lung cancer, and you could fill in the blank other things. But just being a woman is the risk for you getting breast cancer. And so, since you really can't do anything to prevent it, what you want to do is find it at the earliest possible time so we can take care of it. Literally, just in my lifetime, 30, 40 years of my professional life, it was the #1 cause of cancer death in women. Now it's much, much less. There's no reason why breast cancer should ever be a death sentence. Stage 1 and 2 breast cancers now are 100% survival, basically. And obviously stage 3 and 4 and the advancements in treatment made stage 4 breast cancer very survivable also. So the only way you could do is to find the breast cancer as soon as you can. #1, see your doctor once a year, examine yourself once a month, get in the habit of trying to feel for that lump, then get your mammogram beginning at age 40. Mammograms are very good to find the little calcifications that you're looking for the nodule. So when we find it, we can go through the process. Ms. Jimmar went to the biopsy and the treatment and getting to the surgeon. But there was a problem with about 50% of the women that their breasts were so dense that by the time we saw the nodule, it was at a point where it was put them at a higher stage. And that's why American College of Radiology has given a recommendation that ultrasound be added to women with breast density over 50%, which is about half the women. And so with the help of the hospital foundation and the hospital, Athens-Limestone has purchased GE's NVIDIA automatic breast ultrasound machine. It used to be you have to go in and the technologist would examine you, and it's very stressful because all the technologists are a little different. You can't see everything, but now what we can do is a 3D ultrasound. I'll let Leslie kind of explain it a little bit better. You can see the entire breast, and we can go back and look at it and find these breast cancers earlier than you would normally see it with mammography. And the point, as I said, is to catch it as early as possible to treat it so we could take care of it. So I thank you for this event, #1, all those who have been involved. And I thank you to the foundation, especially for helping us purchase this machine to serve the ladies in our community. I think Leslie will talk a little bit more about.
Yes, I'm Leslie Wallace. I'm the Director of Imaging Service for Athens-Limestone Hospital. On behalf of the Radiology Department, we would like to thank the Pink Elephant Fund for purchasing the automated breast ultrasound system for our department, better known as ABUS. Like Dr. Frost said, this is an ultrasound that can be replicated year after year for comparison. In addition to the ABUS, we're also thrilled that the Pink Elephant Fund has also purchased us brand new robes, as you see down front, and warming cabinets for those. While the mammogram and ABUS may not be the most comfortable experience that you have, these warm robes will make the experience just a little bit better. And thank you again to the Pink Elephant Fund for that.
Thank you so much, Pammie. It is an honor to have you here today, and we love you, and thank you for sharing your journey with us. Thank you again to all of our sponsors and the businesses and our partners who make this possible, and a special thanks to our volunteers as well.